Games in the black and white of New Zealand. Very warm welcome, Ray.
Thanks, Gordon.
I think we really need to start by stating the fact that you are the oldest living Kiwi and you're still very active and involved in the game.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trap, this oldest Kiwi business. It usually means you're the next one to go.
Very good
Anyway,
point.
I can live with that.
Very good
I can
point.
live with that.
Very good point. But you're still active. I mean, you still you get around
Oh,
and
yes,
you get
yeah.
along to functions and games when you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about? Have you involved with any club at all still, Ray? Or?
No, but still, Lofty and I, Roy Moore and I, go down to Mount Albert every so often.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
When the season's on, of
When
course.
the season's on, of course. Can I ask you, when you think back and you remember when you first started playing rugby league, what do you remember about deciding that that was the game that you wanted to play? What do you remember?
Well, we played, I was going to Seddon Tech, and we played rugby in the morning and league in the afternoons. Weren't very popular, as you can imagine, but that was in the early 30s, and when I was about 14 or 15. But my problem with rugby league was that I was a bit hefty for a young bloke, and so the team that I followed with all my mates, I stood on the sideline more often, waiting for the, or keeping an eye out for the weigh-in squad.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
so then the war came, of course, and I spent 6 years in the army, and of course never saw anything of rugby league, and played rugby for the 6 years, and suffered numerous beatings up, because as you rose in rank you were fair mark for all the rank and file.
And what was your rank?
Well,
What was your rank in the army?
I finished up lieutenant,
Okay.
but I went from sergeant, gun sergeant in the artillery,
Yeah.
right through to the Middle East, and then all the way through Italy.
Yeah. So what about the particular influences, Ray? You know, a player or a coach or anybody that sort of influenced you that really inspired
Only my
you?
brothers.
Your
My
brothers,
both
yeah.
played senior rugby league for Mount Albert,
Yeah.
and the oldest brother, Basil, was an Auckland captain, and I was fortunate enough to be made an Auckland captain later on. He won the Dixon Medal for sportsmanship, and I was lucky enough to do the same.
Yep.
So it was a family affair.
Oh, fantastic.
The old man was on the board of Mount Albert.
Okay, yeah, so a huge connection there. And you touched on it before, just about the game itself and how popular or how not popular it was, and in school. So the challenges were there when you were wanting to play at school.
Well, as you know, and I know, rugby in those days was a sort of Saxon Mill job. The only game that you ever had a chance of running the ball was rugby league, and that was the attractive part about it.
What about Auckland overall? Was it strong then as it is today?
Oh yes, yeah.
And the rest of
Stronger.
the country, who was closest to Auckland and the rest of the country?
The coach, the Auckland coach was Scotty McLaren. New Zealand coach was Scotty Prentice.
Scotty Prentice.
Apologies.
Okay, no, that's
Yeah,
fine.
you never forgive me. He was the Auckland coach, and Scotty McLaren was the New Zealand coach.
Yeah.
Jack Redwood was the manager, and it was a strong association.
Yeah.
Very strong.
And the Auckland games, playing against other provinces, what were the toughest
Well,
games?
we normally won, but the toughest game was always the West Coast.
West Coast, absolutely.
The old miners.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned it also before, the mighty Mount Albert Lions Club. Back in the 40s, was it very strong then, way back then?
Well, they'd won the championship in '39 when my brother was playing. That was before my time, of course. And we won the treble and 2 or 3 championships after that. I I finished in 1954.
1954.
They were still strong.
Yeah. If I can, Ray, I'll just ask you about your Kiwi career. 11 games in the black and white jersey. Do you remember the first time you pulled on your first Kiwi jersey? You remember?
I'm very proud.
Yeah. Can you talk us through that? You know, because that must have
Well,
been a special moment.
it's the first game I played was at I'm not sure whether it was Carcassonne or Perpignan.
Yes,
but,
that was on to it. Yeah.
Yeah, great to be out in the middle of the field. Great to do the haka.
Yep.
And first game was more or less a blur.
Yeah.
You know, it was a pretty concentrated football.
And what about the presentation of your jersey? Was that done pre-game or
No.
the night before? So it was just basically in the changing
I didn't
room?
worry about it in those days.
No. So here's your jersey, son. Get out there and do it.
The only presentation we got was a suitcase from the Auckland Rugby League.
Oh, nice.
Lovely suitcase.
Lovely
yeah.
suitcase. So you're sitting in that changing room, your first test. You've got your jersey on, and you're looking around the room in there. Who stands out in your mind now? Those guys sitting in that changing room.
Oh, Charlie McBride,
Yep.
Maury Robertson.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Bevan Hoff, Ken English, Joe Curtin, my old mate from Maris Club, the hooker. I've forgotten his name.
Yeah. I'm trying to help you out there, but maybe a wee bit before my time.
It was a hooker, a Kiwi hooker before Colin O'Neill.
Colin O'Neill.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what about other players that you encountered along the way over those 11 games, and the coaches as well? So.
Well, the coaches, our manager on the tour was Dave Wilkie.
Yes.
And Tom McKenzie was his offsider,
Okay,
his
yeah.
financial setup. I never had much to do with any of the other coaches. Colin Siddle was one of the ones that came after our tour, and Harold Tetley, and Bill Telfin, of
Yep.
course.
Yep.
And as I say, the only coaches I had were Scotty Prentice.
Yep.
And
And you learned a lot.
McCryman.
You learned a lot from Scotty. He
a lot,
yes,
yeah, especially in tackling. He's
Yes.
a demon tackler.
Yeah. Can I just take you away from the actual on-field football? And you've done a heck of a lot in administration. Today's governance is just so different from back in your day.
Sure.
What got you into administration? What led you that?
Well,
that
I
path?
came home from the tour and felt I should do something.
Yes.
And I approached them out at the club. It all went back there naturally after you come back, and they asked me if I'd represent them on the school board control board.
Okay. Yeah.
And I thought, right, I'd like to repay some of the enjoyment that I had on the tour, because I had a really good time.
Yeah.
And going over places that I'd been during the war was great, especially in France. And so that was the start of a business with the school board control board.
Yes.
And when I became chairman in the latter years, I was also on the Auckland control board, and had the dubious honour of being the first chairman of the Judicial Committee,
Oh, okay.
along with Luke Pearson and another chap from Ellerslie. There's a park named after him. Fading memories.
Fading memories,
Anyway,
fading memories. Can I just mention to you, and I know something that I mean, I'm just so proud of what you've achieved in the game, and you've received many accolades. Life member of Auckland Rugby League, life member of New Zealand Rugby League, and numerous other accolades, as I say. Special moments for you receiving those awards?
well, when Ted Noling I was secretary manager of the Auckland Leagues Club at that stage, and Ted came in one day and he said, we want you upstairs at a meeting, and I was awarded the Distinguished Service Medal.
Well, okay.
So I've got the three of the, you know, the life members of the Distinguished Service. Fortunate indeed to be a Kiwi manager.
Yes.
And on a tour to Australia, Kiwi culture tour to Australia, and enjoyed the company of a lot of good footballers, good friends.
Yep. And of course, you weren't involved just in rugby league. Softball was a big passion of yours as well?
Yeah, softball was my... cricket was my original sport, but cricket took up the whole afternoon. Softball only took up a couple of hours, so we went to softball. Bob Scott, my brothers, and I, with other boys from Mount Albert, Tommy Hetherington, and a few others, Jim Somerville, and I was lucky enough to be chosen for the Auckland softball team, and my brother had also been in the Auckland team, and eventually I was made captain of the team as he was.
Yep.
So we sort of followed each other. He was a first baseman, I was a left fielder.
Yeah.
And we both had a pretty keen eye, and managed to get a decent batting score. But I love softball.
Yep.
And I was tickled pink to see Dave Sorensen got an award from the Hadfield, the
Halbergs,
Murray Halbergs thing last night.
Yep.
Well overdue.
Yep. What about your last game, Ray? You know, your last game of footy, was there any particular reason why you stopped playing, an injury, or you just...
Overseas?
No, altogether.
Well, overseas.
Your last game of rugby league.
We were playing at Carcassonne, and Whitey and I tackled the same bloke.
Okay.
My fault was that I had my arms out, and Whitey tackled on my elbow.
Yeah.
And that was the end of me as far as the trip went.
Yeah.
But I played football again when I came home.
Back. Yeah, you came back. The game now, and I mean, I've even seen it in my brief time that I've been involved with the game, has just changed so very, very much. You think for the better or for the worse?
Well, there's not enough movement. My business with rugby league is that it's a question of moving the ball.
Yes.
I don't agree with the Burgess type of football, charging up, and it annoys me to see blokes knocking themselves around, and I've found the same thing with our late captain, Mannering.
Simon, yeah.
And I spoke to him and I said, why knock yourself out?
Yes.
Pass the ball.
Yes.
And you're not doing yourself any good. You're slowing the game up.
Yep.
And you eventually will get yourself really hurt.
Yep.
I don't mean to say that you dodge running into tackles, but unnecessary tackles are stupid.
No, very,
and I sit at home and I'm very vocal, I'm afraid.
I can just imagine.
Very vocal.
What about the training side of things and the different levels of fitness to you?
Well, training, all we did was run around Fowles Park
Yeah.
half a dozen times.
Yeah.
I've never been a great physical trainer as far as that goes.
And I suppose the other thing too that leads into is that nowadays we've got every imaginable medicine available to cure players and their injuries. You must have suffered a couple during your career.
I was very lucky, Gordon. I only got injured once, and that was the next Kiwi game at Huntly.
Oh, well, okay.
And I ran up to the fullback to tackle him high.
Yep.
He fended me off, my legs crossed and I broke my ankle.
Oh, bloody hell.
And a very good lesson not to tackle high.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But I was lucky enough to, I had to keep going to the hospital for treatment, and it was interfering with my job, and one of the nurses at the hospital said, "Why don't you try this new dance, rock and roll?"
Oh, okay.
So I went to a studio at Boston Road in Mount Eden, and after a lot of pain and agony, the old ankle came right, and I played for another. I played till I was 50.
Should share that.
So
With,
it wasn't
should
too
share
bad.
that. Should share that with the Warriors. So the 1951, 1952 tour of UK and France, and I mean today travel is it's easy peasy. So you know, going on a tour like that is quite a significant undertaking.
Well, we went on the Ruahine, which was a on its return voyage,
Yes.
maiden voyage,
Yes.
and it was a lovely ship, and we stopped off at Panama and had a game of touch football in Panama, but with the sort of regiment we were doing exercises. Murray Robertson was taking us for exercises, and unfortunately running around the deck made your shin sore.
Oh.
And so we weren't very keen on that, but it was a great trip, and we had the thing at that time was the Dion quintuplets.
Yep.
And we had the occasion for a fancy dress set up on the boat after we'd been out a couple of weeks, and so Sir Lee Snake thought of the idea of doing a Dion quintuplets. So Cliff Johnson, Graham Bergwin, myself, Ken English, and Joe Curtin were the 5 Dion quintuplets.
Wow.
And we were decked out in napkins and a kerchief round the head and dummies, sucking dummies. Sir Lee Snake was the father, Mr. Dion, and Andy Berryman was his wife.
Yep.
And it went down very well. I was trying to find my photo album, which I'll do one of these days, and show you the photos.
I think we'd all love to see those. We'd all love to see those. But this is probably a bit of a tough question, Ray, but just over your entire footy career, whether it be Kiwis, Auckland, Mount Albert, is there one individual that you admired and respected the most out of all the guys that you played with? One guy that you would have just done anything for?
Well, I did say many years ago that the 2 blokes one was Laurie Olive, that I enjoyed playing with Laurie. We were both in that state, second rowers for the ex-Kiwis. And one of the toughest blokes I played against was Joe Dukes from Canterbury. Joe was a wharfie, but he was a tough man. And I admired Murray Robertson very much.
Yes.
He was an uncompromising captain. He gave as hard as he took, and he was well respected. And Travis Hardwick, of course. Travis was an old mate of mine, and when he was playing for South Auckland, we had a few battles together. And but the rugby league has been a game where the majority of the players and officials have been very good. Very good indeed. Blokes like Ronnie McGregor, Jack Redwood, and the boy from Amos from Christchurch, and referees. You got Johnny Purcell,
Yes. Yes.
Jim Campbell, and Rolly Avery, all good referees and fair referees.
Yeah. So you mentioned just in there, an individual that didn't like playing against. What about the team? And you said before about West Coast, but the team you most feared, you thought, oh my gosh, we're playing West Coast this week. Was it West Coast?
Never worried.
Yeah, never worried?
Never worried, no.
Yeah.
Always felt that we could find a means of getting past them.
Yeah.
And that's when I talk about just moving the ball.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. What about the French? French are renowned for being tough.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
not tough, but dirty, shall we say?
They're a dirty pack of bastards. Forgive me.
That's
But the two I admired, apart from Aubert, were Poncenet and Routset. They were a couple of real nice chaps.
Yeah.
And personally, I never had any problems with the French. And that first team that came out was a real good team.
Yeah.
And I was tickled pink when we beat them.
Yeah.
With Des White and his
Yes, yes.
last minute kick.
Yes, from the
And,
sideline, yes.
Was a bit unfortunate. Maison Hook got mixed up with our bloke. And the manager had to go out on the field.
Oh.
It didn't look good.
Yeah.
He went out in the field with Jack Redwood
Yeah.
to sort it out with the referee.
Yeah.
And the poor old referee was from Wellington, Pilcher,
Yeah.
I think. No, was it Pilcher or was it a bloke from the West Coast,
Yeah.
maybe? I've forgotten, but I remember Pilcher.
Yeah. So just in closing, Ray, I've so thoroughly enjoyed having this chat with you. I mean, you look over the years and the way that how far the game's come and what you've done. If you had the opportunity to change anything in the game, just entirely up to you, is there anything that you'd like to see changed apart from moving the ball, of course?
Yeah.
Even from administrative side,
It's the best game.
Yeah.
When you hear them say greatest game of ball,
Yes.
it brings a tear to my eye.
Yeah.
I know I'm getting a bit bloody old and slovenly,
Yeah.
but it's a true statement,
Yes.
and I wouldn't be involved in anything else.
Bringing a tear in my eye.
Yeah.
But I mean, and all I can say just in closing is, Ray, thank you so very much for everything that you've done for the game and you continue to do for the game. And it's been our pleasure to have you on the New Zealand Rugby League Museum camera today.
It's been a great trip, and I wouldn't have changed anything.
Fantastic.
And been fortunate to last so long.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
And many more years to come.
Good.
Thank you.